Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, here we are at the last 2024 update, at least for a few months anyway, until any new updates come out. This is the Harley Davidson Part 2 video where we'll take a look at all the models from Harley that have changed for 2024. The Harley Part 1 video can be found here, which has all the bikes that had only pricing and color changes. There have been some interesting developments in these updates that I wasn't expecting. One of the local dealers is having a 2024 release event this coming Saturday. I'm hoping to get out there and see if I can get some pictures of these bikes, so stay tuned for that. Well, hopefully, if they let me. Nothing new here for the sport bikes. We still have the Nightster Special, and the Sportster S, as indicated in my last video. And to my surprise, there are also no changes in the cruiser models. Still no Fat Bob 114 with the new updates. This tells me one of two things. Either they are discontinuing the Fat Bob, or they are going to release a special version of the Fat Bob later on in the year. This is what they did last year with the Road King Standard. They didn't release a Road King Standard last year and instead released the Highway King as a special version. Maybe they will do the same thing this year with the Fat Bob, but for now, nothing new in the cruiser line. Next is the Adventure lineup. I suspected they were going to do something with the Pan America since the only Pan America in the last video was the Pan America Special. I didn't know what, but I wasn't expecting this. Introducing the CVO Pan America. Harley dropped the price of the Pan America Special $400 down to a starting point of $20,000 to make room for the CVO Pan America, which starts at $28,400. The CVO Pan America has the same Revolution Max 1250 engine as the Special, with 150 horsepower and 95 foot-pounds of torque. One big difference is that the CVO includes the saddlebags, shown in the pictures. Another difference in specs is the seat height. The Special's seat height ranges from 31 to 32 inches, and the CVO seat height ranges from about 30.5 to 31.5, so it's about a half inch lower. Despite the lower seat height, the CVO has a slightly higher ground clearance, but only about a quarter inch higher. It has the same 6.8 inch TFT, frame-mounted fairing with a windshield. Pretty much everything else is the same. So other than including saddlebags and a slightly lower seat height, what do you get for spending an extra $8,500 for the CVO? You get a prettier bike. Comes in one color, legendary orange with black trim. All the usual refinements expected in the CVO, so that's what's new in the Adventure lineup. Before we move on, I'd invite you to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. I appreciate all the support. Thank you all for joining me on this crazy journey. On to the Grand America Touring lineup. First, let's talk about what's still missing. We still have 4 bikes missing: the Road King Standard, Street Glide Special, Street Glide ST, and the Road Glide Special. The Road King Standard isn't all that surprising to me with the Highway King released only a few months ago, but I am surprised by the Street Glide and Road Glide Special models and the Street Glide ST not being present here. Let's talk about the bikes that are here. We've got some interesting changes. Starting with the Street Glide, these now have been upgraded from the 107 engine to the 117 engine. I think most people were predicting that they were going to get rid of the 107 engine and put the 114 engine in the standard models, but they skipped right by the 114 and went to the 117 for the standard touring bikes. In light of this, the starting price point on these has been bumped from $22,000 up $4,000 to $26,000. That doesn't surprise me with the big engine upgrade, but still very pricey, considering this is for the base gray color. Prices range up to a little over $28,000 with the blacked out premium color options. One good thing is that ABS is now standard, which is good to see. It appears that Harley took all the main features from the new 2023 CVO models and have made them standard across all the 2024 touring models. The new lighting on the fairing is now standard across all these bikes, as is the split stream vent opening and the 12-inch TFT screen that was introduced in the CVOs last year. So let's talk actual specs. There are 13 color variations available on the Street Glide, 6 chrome and 7 blacked out. The 117 engine is producing 105 horsepower and 130 foot-pounds of torque, 26-inch seat height, 6-gallon tank, and a running weight of about 810 pounds on the Street Glide. All of the rider safety options are now standard. This bike now has a USB-C port. This is the first bike I've noticed in my reviews with the USB-C. May have been one in there that I didn't notice, but this is the one I've noticed. The saddlebags have the same amount of storage space, but they've been redesigned a little bit, made a little more streamlined. The rear lights have been upgraded as well. The Road Glide is the same thing, same prices, same 13 colors, just with the frame-mounted shark-nosed fairing instead of the fork-mounted batwing fairing. My personal opinion, very, very impressive, not only in power, but also in how they look. Looks like Harley has finally come out of the dark ages in terms of their infotainment systems on the standard bikes and features. They've cruised past the Indian Chieftain and Challengers in terms of power and infotainment in almost every aspect, but they also cost a couple thousand more now. Here's what seems to be happening between Indian and Harley, especially in the touring bikes, which, let's admit, are their big money makers. One of them comes out with a more powerful bike and a bike with better features, so the other one responds by upgrading their bikes the following year, surpassing the first one. Then the first one responds by going to the next level with theirs, and they go back and forth, continuing to increase the power and features in their bikes to outdo the other one and raising the prices higher and higher. So where does it end? How much power do they plan to put on these bikes, and how expensive are they going to get? At what point do they get so expensive that people stop buying them, regardless of how much power they have and how cool they look? I really like the looks of these bikes, but there's no way I'm buying one at these prices. By the time you get a color you like, pay the surcharge and freight fees, plus the dealer markup, you're looking at prices well over $30,000. My guess is that that is a good reason that both Indian and Harley are seeing sales decline. So what's next, Indian? Harley has upped the ante. I guess it's your turn now. What are you going to do to continue to compete? Anyway, enough of that rant. We covered the Road King Special, Road Glide Limited, and Ultra Limited in my last video, so moving on to the Road Glide ST, which has been upgraded now to a CVO Road Glide ST. This year is the 25th anniversary of the CVO line of bikes, so the CVOs now have a badge to show that. There's also a Fast Johnny emblem on the CVO ST. The previous year's Road Glide ST had the 117 engine and started at $30,000. The CVO Road Glide ST now costs almost 50% more at $43,000, same price for both the black or white pearl. The engine has been upgraded to the 121 engine, has been bumped up to 127 horsepower and 145 foot-pounds of torque. There are some carbon fiber elements on the bike as well, 26.7-inch seat height, 6-gallon tank, and 838 pounds fully fueled up. Next up are the CVO Street Glide and Road Glide bikes. These are the same as what was introduced last summer, except for colors and prices. With this year being the 25th anniversary of CVO, we'll see those badges on these bikes as well. Prices are up $1,500 from last year. Last year was $43,000 for the base color. This year's $44,500. And the two-tone color is still an additional $6,000, now at $50,500. Still has the 121 engine, but only 139 foot-pounds of torque, so slightly less power than the ST. Base color is called Copperhead with scorched chrome trim, and the two-tone is Legendary Orange with regular chrome like the CVO Pan America. So that is it for the new Harley lineup, folks. No sign of a Road King Standard returning to the lineup yet. We're missing the Fat Bob, the Street Glide and Road Glide specials, and also missing a CVO Street Glide ST to pair with the CVO Road Glide ST. That one is what puzzles me the most. But let me know what you think in the comments. Yes, I know these bikes are getting ridiculously expensive, but other than the price, what do you think? And what are your predictions for the bikes that are still missing from the lineup? Are they gone for good? Are there new updates coming in the summer for those models? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care.